Hey guys, welcome to Woodzman Adventures. Today I'm going to do a video when it turns dark in a little while of riding at night. You know, night riding's been something that motorcyclists sometimes you have to deal with it unexpectedly, and some people just deal with it. They like to. They ride back and forth to work, and maybe they ride at night, but I ride at nights. In the morning when I go to work it's dark, so you know, some people hate it and some people enjoy riding at night, going out night riding. I kind of am both ways. Of course, I'd rather ride at day because I like the scenery. And but we're going to do a video tonight of riding in the dark. We'll do some pros and cons to riding at night, and we'll do some tips on things to watch out for. And I'll catch you at nighttime and we'll talk about it.
Connected.
Well, it is officially dark. 7:10 p.m. and it is dark as it's going to get anyway. It's a nice evening. We had some rain, but it passed and dried back out, and it's a real nice evening to go riding in the dark. What I want to talk about is the most important thing to me in the dark. The number one thing you can do is talk about it first, because is lighting. Real good headlights is the number one thing you can have when you're riding in the dark. If you can't see, it's really difficult to ride and really dangerous to ride. And the Africa Twin happens to have LEDs, which is and they're extremely good lights. So on low beam and then on high beam, they are extremely good. There's lots of options on lighting. I recommend, if you're going to add lights, to put LED lights because of the low current draw and the life of the lights. They'll last a long time, and they take a lot more abuse than most other lights. So to add some exterior lights to shine forward for seeing at night, you have to be careful about your laws, that you're not using something that's too bright and blinding people, just like you would on a vehicle. But number one thing would be lighting at nighttime. Basically, nighttime riding, it can be enjoyable. One thing about nighttime riding is, just like in this rural area, in some cities it may not be, depending on the time of night. Less traffic, a lot less traffic at night than there is during the daytime. And so that's a good thing. Cooler temperatures if it's real hot in the day. In the summer when it's real hot, it's usually a lot cooler at night, which is a plus. And some of the disadvantages to riding at night would be, you know, of course you can't see as good. It was the number one thing. That's why I talked about lighting as being so important and being the number one thing. You can't see as far. There's a lot more things that you'll miss. Animals come out at night, you know, can cross your path, and you really got to watch for animals. You have to fight with bugs at night, and you know, you want to just keep your helmet clean, your shield clean on your helmet, keep your windshield clean if you're looking through it. It's important to keep it clean and glare free. And also at night you'll have lenses fogging up where you can't see. Don't be riding with a fog lens. Get something to stop the fog. What I do is I leave my shield cracked just a little bit. I don't want it open because I don't want bugs getting into my eyes. So I leave it, but I'll leave it cracked a little bit to let a little ventilation, and then to keep the fog cleared out, so I can still see yet not get bugs in my eyes. So that's real important. Another important thing is never override or outride your headlights. My headlights are shining up there so far, so I don't want to ride so fast that in the distance that I can see, I can't come to a stop to avoid an accident if something is in the road up there. If a car is stopped and I can see that far, I know that I can come to a good stop without getting hitting something and be safe. If you're riding 150 miles an hour, you're still going to see the same distance, except you're not going to be able to stop in time to keep from running into whatever is in the road. So never outride your headlights. A lot of people like to ride at night because getting by with breaking the law is easier. Usually, you know, you're not going to be seen as well. You're not maybe there won't be as many cops in the area where you're at night. I don't recommend ever breaking the law anyway for speeding. So, but lots of advantages and disadvantages to night. Okay, some of the disadvantages would be like obstacles in the road. I recommend when you ride, always ride in the tire track of where cars are. You got one on the left here, one on the right. Always ride in the right. I recommend riding in the right side because I'm further away from a car. Like this oncoming car here, I don't know that it's not a truck pulling a trailer that's wide, and if I'm riding in that lane, it could be sticking out and I could hit it. So I always ride in the right lane, and to avoid anything that might be protruding out from a vehicle that could hit you. I also recommend riding in the tire track of the vehicles like I am here on the right side, because when cars go down the road, most debris from the tires is either going to be kicked off to the side of the road or into the center. And if you're riding into the center, you can't see if there's a sharp piece of metal. There could be, I've seen all kinds of things in the road, from sharp pieces of metal to nails to a rock. And if you're riding in the center lane, you're a lot more apt to hit the debris that's in the road. So always stay in the tire track. Also, especially if it's raining, that's a good idea to stay in the tire track and not in the middle of the road. One thing that's really dangerous that I mentioned earlier is about animals, especially in rural areas. We have a lot of deer here. They will be, you won't see them at night nearly as good as you can at day, and a lot of the animals will come out at night that don't come out during the day much, especially deer, raccoons, possums. I usually see lots of possums and raccoons, more than I actually do deer. But deer is a real danger because of the size, and so always ride with your lights on high beam unless you're meeting a car, because you will be able to see better in the ditches, in the fences, and maybe even on the other side of the fence if there's an oncoming deer that's going to jump out in front of you, and hopefully you will have time to react. That also goes with don't outride your headlights. If you're doing 100 miles an hour and a deer comes out, it's very doubtful that you're going to miss the deer, and you can be dead in an instant. You don't have time to react at that speed. But I have seen people get hurt at 30 miles an hour hitting deer. A guy that I know hit a deer doing 30 miles an hour, put him in the hospital for a long time, and it can be really serious. So take it serious at night. Watch for other drivers. One other thing that can be bad at nighttime is other drivers coming at you with their headlights on high and blinding you. one thing that I recommend when you're riding at night, you see somebody and they got their lights on bright, I'd never recommend bright lighting that person, because what you can do by bright lighting that person is cause them to react. You startle them or you blind them, they could swerve into your lane and cause you to wreck, and it could be a serious thing. But what I recommend is, if you see somebody coming on towards you, they got their headlights on high beam, is focus on that white line right there on the side of the road. Stay straight, keep your speed steady, and just focus on that white line. That way you know where you're at until the person passes and you can get your vision back and see again. It's a real important thing to do, is don't focus on their headlights, because one rule in driving or motorcycling is wherever you're looking at, that's where you're going to go. Another tip is, when you're riding in the night, is I always keep some window cleaner. I use some that's good for plexiglass, not Windex. It's got ammonia in it, but I keep some, it's actually, what I use is eyeglass cleaner. And just spray it on, because if it gets bad where you can't see through your shield and there's bugs in your shield and you can't see, it's not that difficult just to pull over, clean your shield, and then go on with a clean shield. And you know, make sure you don't have streaks or glares in your shield, because it can cause problems, especially when you're meeting a car and you have glares on your shield where you can't see where you're going. Nighttime can be a lot of fun riding, especially riding with friends at night. And one thing that I also recommend to riding at night, if you're riding with other people in a group, is have an intercom system, so you can talk back and forth. I use the SENA intercom systems on mine, my wife's, my son's, my friends. We all use the SENA because they're a proven track record of quality intercom systems. And that is one of the number one things that you can have for motorcycling, daytime or nighttime, is because it's an advanced warning system. Somebody's up there riding and they see a deer, well, it's a whole lot easier for them to just say, hey, here's a deer in the ditch, you know, or hey, watch out, there's something in the road, on the intercom system, than to try to point at it. Because at nighttime, other than daytime, at nighttime it's going to be hard for you to see them sticking their foot out to point at it, or if they point with their hand, and you to see what they're trying to show you. The SENA intercom system is a super tool to have when night riding with a group of people. So I highly recommend you having one of those. It's money well spent. Important thing that I do too is, especially at night, because people don't see you, is if there's somebody up there and maybe going to pull out and they may not see you, I just see a car up there getting ready to pull out, and I will flash my lights at them. On this Africa Twin, you actually have a button. You have high beam, you have low beam, and if you push down on the low beam, on the low side of it, it will flash. And you can flicker your light. If you can see it in the video here, you can see me flickering the light to let somebody know that, hey, I'm coming, and maybe they won't pull out in front of you. Nothing's 100%, but you can always plan ahead. And I also always expect, if there's a car up here getting ready to pull out, that they are going to pull out in front of you, because if you don't think that they're going to pull out in front of you, that's when you're going to get hurt, because they will. So anytime you see a car, always think that it will pull out in front of you, and it might save your life. I want to pass on these tips to everybody, because it's tips that I've learned through the years of, you know, almost 40 years of riding motorcycles and a lot of night riding, and tips that I've passed on to my boys and friends that I've rode with, and when I train my boys how to ride, and they've turned out to be pretty good motorcycle riders, and And it doesn't matter because you're a good rider that you can't get in a wreck, because it can happen to any of us. But there's a lot of things and precautions that we can do to keep a wreck from happening. And if you're really scared at night, I don't necessarily recommend you riding at night. If you're scared to death of the dark and riding at night, then I don't recommend it if you're not comfortable with it. Take some short rides out at night around your neighborhood or wherever you live at night, and get comfortable riding at night, and get in better places in a town where there's not a lot of traffic but there's street lights, because there's a lot more well lit. You can see things. You know, watch out for kids at night, because kids will run out in front of you in the street too. But practice riding at night before you get out in a lot of traffic or in rural areas where a lot of animals are. Another good tip is a lot of people would like to wear tinted shields on their helmet, and which is a great thing at daytime to keep the sun glaring out of your eyes. It's really nice. I don't actually wear one. This helmet is a next helmet. It has the tint that will roll down in front of your eyes. It works great. But I always recommend that if you do have a tinted shield, you can carry a spare shield with you. And then when it starts turning dark, change the shield out. A lot of helmets have a quick release for the shield, and it's really simple to change the shield out, put a clear one on at night where you can see, because you don't want to be riding with the shield up, even if you're wearing glasses. A lot of people think glasses is sufficient to keep bugs out of your eyes, but sometimes bugs are big. There's other things like birds. It's just dangerous to not have the shield shut. So always wear a clear shield at night. Another good thing is that have lights on your bike. They sell all kinds of LED lights nowadays that are low current draw. You can get LED strips. You can get all kinds of accent LED lights to put on your bike that will make you visible for cars, especially from a side angle. If a car is coming up on you from the side on the road, that they will be able to see those lights. And also you can even use reflective tape. They sell reflective tape that people put on their wheels to make their wheels glow whenever headlights hit them. That's a big advantage at night for people to see. Wear a jacket like this. This is an HJC jacket that I have on. It has reflective piping and the glow in the dark reflective part, stripes on the side of it and on the back, so whenever somebody is behind me, they'll see it glowing, or somebody coming up to the side. So that's a real good thing. If you don't have a jacket with the reflective stuff, if you're just wearing a leather jacket, you can carry one of the reflective vests that you see. You can buy them anywhere, pretty much at Walmart or anywhere, but you can put on a reflective vest over your jacket at night, and that's a good way for you to be seen by other cars when their lights hit you. So I just want to share all these tips with you. I hope that you know, the tips that I give, it's not I don't want you to base your life upon something that I say is going to save your life. You know, this is just my recommendations. This is what I do. The years of riding that I've done and teaching my boys how to ride, and other people, sharing my tips with them. So if it just saves one life from a tip that I give, that's what's important. And we can all enjoy motorcycling, enjoy night riding, if you enjoy night riding, and have it be safe and fun, and nobody get injured, and that's what really is important. And I really appreciate everybody watching Woodzman Adventures, and please subscribe to the channel, click the thumbs up. We got lots more videos coming, lots more tech tips, a lot more riding tips, different types of weather when the winter comes on, lots more maintenance things on motorcycles. It's not just about Africa Twin. It's also pretty much a lot of it deals with all motorcycles, and not just Africa Twin or dual sports or adventure bikes. So please subscribe to the channel. Click on the little bell, and whenever I post a new video, you'll get a notification and let you know when I have a new video comes out. But I really appreciate y'all, all the comments and subscribes and likes that you guys do. Catch y'all in the next video.